Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have a few things that I want to go over today, and it's about what people don't tell you about breastfeeding. You always hear all of the positives, but what about the negatives? So if you would be interested in this content, just keep watching. Hi everybody, this is Emily. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. I am a stay-at-home mom, among other things, and I exclusively breastfeed this one. This is little Eliana. She is almost 5 months old, and she is our baby girl, and she's just so cute. She's just waking up from a nap, so she might be just a little calm right now. Not very playful, I guess. Anyways, the first thing that I want to say, and I will say this at every single breastfeeding video that I make, whatever you pump is not an indication of what your baby is receiving. I pump every morning, and sometimes I'll only get 2 ounces. But if you see my little chubby butt, she gets more than 2 ounces per feeding. Which goes into my next thing that nobody tells you, is your baby is going to get the milk out of you better than any pump will. You can manually express, you can have a hospital grade electric pump, but your little baby is going to be able to suction it out of you better. I guess you could say that. The third thing, you will always have a lazy boob. I call it my slacker boob, which is my left side. It doesn't matter what I do. My right side will always get engorged. My left side won't. I'll always pump more on my right side. My left side won't. Eliana does have a preference for my right side, and that's completely fine because I hear her eat and I hear her gulp, and I know that no matter what side she's on, she is getting full, but she does get fussy and kind of scream a little bit or yell at my boob if she is on the left side a lot quicker than the right. So it's either my letdown isn't happening quick enough for her, or she's just not getting it, and that's okay with me because she's fed, and that's what's important here. You are not going to know during cluster feeding how often your baby is going to be attached to you. 80% of the time when Eliana cluster feeds, she's right on my boob. When I had Emerson, I automatically thought he wasn't getting enough from me because I had no idea about cluster feeding. And all it is the baby, see, she's teething and eating my finger. And all it is the baby is growing, and breastfeeding, it works as a supply and demand. So if your baby is demanding more, wanting to eat, it is telling your body that it needs to produce more milk supply. So cluster feeding is very, very hard. However, it only lasts a few days, but those few days, they're rough. I have a little list here, so sorry if I keep looking down. With that attachment that your baby has to your finger, I guess, there may be some resentment. I know that a few times I've became very resentful towards my husband because I'm the only one that can feed her, and it's very difficult sometimes. We were able to work it out where with my freezer supply, if I'm just exhausted or if I need a break or anything like that, he can just defrost some of the freezer supply, and that way I get some me time, which is very important to remember. You're always going to need me time. Do not feel guilty for needing that me time away from your baby. It is completely normal and natural just to want some alone time. Thankfully, little Eliana, she will take a bottle, but some babies won't take a bottle even if it's your expressed milk. But she does great for her dad, and that makes me happy. I no longer resent him, but that's something people don't tell you, is the resentment that you might have against your significant other or friend or a family member or who's ever helping you raise your baby. It's very hard when you exclusively breastfeed and you'll be in the middle of something, and all of a sudden your baby is going to want you. And yeah, you know what I'm talking about, huh? So the next thing, I know it happened with me. I don't know about everybody else. I have become more carefree with my boobs. When we first brought Eliana home, I was more discreet when I would feed her because we have a 10-year-old son and an 8-year-old son. And out of self-respect, I just wanted to cover myself and not want them in the room when I was latching her or whatever the case. But finally I came to the realization, well, I guess she's going to be Miss Chatty Cathy now. Finally I came to the realization that we don't want to sexualize my body. I don't want to sexualize any part of my body. There is a purpose for each individual body part that we have. And since media and celebrities and the public eye has made breasts so desirable and so sexualized that it's the norm to see a lot of celebrities barely covering up their breasts. However, when a mother is feeding their baby, the whole world goes crazy because she's exposing herself. I don't want our sons to think that. I don't want Eliana growing up thinking that her breasts are just made to be stared at or as a sexual body part. So we decided to start with our sons and teaching them that mom's feeding Ellie, there's nothing to stare at. There's really not. But anyways, it's always great. And it always helps that I have an awesome support system. My entire family is completely for breastfeeding. My sister is nursing right now also. So I saw her on Christmas and I was able to ask her quite a few questions and she was great just about answering them. So do what's comfortable for you. And do what's right for you and your baby, but my opinion is wherever my daughter is hungry is where I'm going to feed her, right? I think I might have to feed her here in a second also. So if you don't want to see me feed my child, then you can exit the video now. However, if I start feeding her, you're more than welcome to stay because I'm not ashamed to feed my daughter and you shouldn't be either. But like I said, that's your personal preference and do what's right for you and your baby, right? So, and she just ate not too long ago. Maybe she's starting cluster feeding again, maybe not. So the next thing that I want to talk about is you're going to want to give up. It is normal to feel that way. It's normal to want to throw in the towel and say, you know what, to hell with breastfeeding. This is too hard for me. If you want to exclusively pump, if you want to switch over to formula, do what's right for you and your baby. Don't listen to anybody else's opinions. Your baby's not going to think anything different of you, whether or not you feed in public or supplement with formula sometimes or feed from the breast. Your baby is going to love you no matter what. And that's the main focus here is doing what's right for you. So you are going to also hear everybody's opinions. Everybody and their mother. I hear mother-in-laws and in-laws in general are really bad for giving their opinions and saying whatever you're doing is wrong. Don't listen to other people's opinions. Don't. Everybody is entitled to their own, so don't start a big argument over it because that wouldn't be ladylike. However, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. If they don't agree with you breastfeeding and you want to, don't let their words bother you at all, but just be prepared that you will hear anybody and everybody have an opinion on how and when you breastfeed. I'm going to get her latched on. We will be right back. All right, everybody, we are back. Little Eliana is having a snack, I guess. And this is what I mean about resentment. How much do I wish that there was somebody else that would be able to feed her right now. Her dad is at work, and a lot of times when the boys feed her, she's not. They'll get hickeys also. Just so you know, you're gonna get hickeys on your boobs because they'll just start sucking if you're not paying attention, and they don't care where it's at. Right? Right. It will hurt. It will hurt. When Eliana and I were learning how to breastfeed, she was learning how to latch, I was learning how to latch her on. Those first couple weeks after you bring your baby home, it's going to hurt. Nipple cream, rest, do what you can. It does get better. Eliana has started this new thing where while she's eating, if she starts getting gassy, she clamps down on my nipple and yanks her head. And that hurts. When you get dry or cracked nipples, that hurts. Just remember, it's not all the time, and it does get better. I promise you it gets better, and to me, it is worth it, because I'd rather have it hurt all the time and watch my baby grow than, well, babies will grow formula fed also, but I get to watch her knowing that I did that. And I would do that 20 times and take the pain just to have that sense of accomplishment. So the next thing on my list with it hurting, you can also develop an infection from a clogged milk duct. It is called mastitis. Some women are able to clear it up on their own. I had it when Ellie was maybe 4 or 5 weeks old. And it was a day and a half of pure pain. Inside of my breast, when she suckled, it felt like it was something dry pulling through me, and it burned really bad. So a hot shower and massage works for me. If this is happening with you, and you can't get any relief, I highly suggest calling your healthcare provider because you may need antibiotics. But it's tough. It really is. It hurts quite a bit. I know that there are some women that it happens to all the time. And with me, it just happened that one time. Never want it to happen again. I really don't have any ways offhand on how you can prevent it from happening. There's a lot of myths in how you can prevent it. And that's actually going to be in my next video. I'm so excited for it. You guys should definitely tune in. It's going to be all about myths about breastfeeding that you might hear, that you might be doing. So that one will be really fun. So after mastitis, breastfeeding is lonely. It's very lonely, huh? Because little Ellie, usually when we eat, we read a book or we sing songs. But a lot of times she'll be falling asleep for a nap when she eats. And then I'll just be stuck there. And I mean, when my husband's here, he'll keep me company. Our youngest son, he keeps me company a lot. I suggest finding a game on your phone, a good book, a crossword, whatever you're going to be able to do while you nurse your baby. Because sometimes in the middle of the night, it could be up to an hour that you're nursing and there's nobody around, and you don't want to make too much noise because that will wake the baby. And it's a lot, but it can get lonely. You may leak. That's something that goes undiscussed as well. You might leak, huh? You might leak, huh? So, and when you leak, it's just any time that your baby's ready to eat. Oh, she keeps unlatching and looking at me and smiling. It's any time your baby's ready to eat, or also anything that can produce oxytocin in your brain can induce your breast milk from coming out. Are you done? Are you done? Was that a good snack? Huh? Was that a good snack? Huh? Yeah. I'm sorry. I love being a mom. That's probably the best thing that I have ever done in my life is be a mom. And I got a little distracted there, just talking to the baby. Good job. So, you will leak. Make sure if you're going out for an extended period of time, you either bring a manual pump with you or you put nursing pads on or whatever. Thankfully, I'm not a huge leaker and I stay at home all the time. So if I notice that I'm starting to leak, I get my Haka and I put it on there, and that way all of that milk is going to be saved. It's not going to be wasted in a pump, or excuse me, not a pump, a breast pad. And I never liked breast pads anyway. They're itchy and uncomfortable to me, but some women love them. And there's all different types. There's not just disposable ones, there's reusable ones also, which of course are going to be softer on your breast. So you also are going to have to kind of live like you're still pregnant. Everybody will tell you, you know, the obvious. You can't smoke, you can't drink, don't do drugs while you're nursing, but they don't mention foods you shouldn't take because they can dry you up. Things that you shouldn't drink because it will dry you up. Some over-the-counter medications that will get into your breast milk easily or dry you up. People don't talk about that. So what I suggest is before starting anything that you're going to consume, whether it's a over-the-counter medication or a new diet regimen, then talk to your healthcare provider first, or your pediatrician, because they will be the best ones to talk to about what is okay for you to take and what isn't. But the entire time you are nursing, it's almost like you still have to avoid certain things. Eliana gets so gassy if I eat garlic or pepperoni. Some women I've heard can't consume caffeine without their baby getting cranky. So listen to your baby's cues. Your baby will let you know if a certain food is upsetting it, but also talk to your healthcare provider. I am in no way, shape, or form a lactation consultant or a healthcare professional. So what I'm giving you is advice that I have learned throughout my breastfeeding journey to help you. It's not anything that I went to school for. So take anything I say for what it's worth. Just remember that it is advice. I figured I should put that disclaimer out there because I don't want something happening and somebody coming in and yelling at me for it. So your baby is going to be the light of your life. Of course, everybody is going to tell you that. However, something that they don't talk about in regards to breastfeeding is the sense of accomplishment and pride that you're going to get. Whether you can breastfeed for a month or a year, or let's see, my niece turned a year in November, I believe it may be October or November. My niece turned a year and my sister's still nursing her, and I think that's incredible because nursing is hard work. Breastfeeding is so hard and exhausting, but at the end of it all, you know that you did that. You created this little chunker butt. While they were in your belly, you helped the baby grow and thrive while you were pregnant. And then you went through hours of labor and delivery, and you never thought you would get through that, and you did. And then you start breastfeeding, which you're still helping the baby grow and get nourishment and develop. And a lot of women, they don't think that they can do it. And it's okay to want to throw in the towel. You're normal for that. It's completely fine if you can't do it anymore. If it is affecting your mental health, don't. Your baby is going to love you regardless. But what is so swept under the rug for me is how accomplished you feel when you are taking care of this tiny human. So in tandem nursing, oh my gosh, those women, they nurse 2 babies at once. And I think that's incredible also. I do want to mention that there are breastfeeding support groups, and a lot of women know about the ones that are local to them. Now, I tell you, one thing that I do not want to do today is I want to take a teething little girl and get her all bundled up and buckled in to drive for an hour at a support group. Some people, they may want to do that. That's not my cup of tea. So I still am a part of a breastfeeding support group, and I found it on Facebook, and it's thousands of women all over the world that are there to help you, that are there to share their stories and give advice. And so I highly suggest, if you want to exclusively breastfeed, definitely join a support group, whether it's local to you, whether it's online. I know Instagram has support groups. I know Twitter, just all over social media. We are in 2019 now, and there are tons of resources out there. So I think that wraps up our video, huh? Funny story about this video is this is the third time I'm filming it. The first time, I accidentally deleted the video. The second time, the lighting was really bad in here, and even though my husband was here to help me take care of the kids so I could film, the lighting was horrible. I wasn't going to do that to you guys, so I had to wait till the next morning, even though I wanted to get this video out yesterday. Sorry for the delay. I do upload new breastfeeding tips and tricks and everything involving breastfeeding every other day. I try to, at least, and the days in between I just do lifestyle videos. Again, if you haven't, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share. My question of the day is, what didn't you know before you started breastfeeding? Or if you haven't started breastfeeding yet, what are you worried about? What do you think your biggest struggles may be? Let me know in the comments down below. Be kind to one another, and everybody have a wonderful day. See you next time.